You're lying awake, again, not because you can't sleep, because the mind won't stop calculating. That friend, the one who's struggling, you saw the message earlier, didn't know what to say, still don't. But the mind keeps returning to it, trying to find the right words, the right way to help, and that family member, the one making the same mistakes. You've told them before. They didn't listen. But maybe if you say it differently this time, maybe if you just, and the news, the world, the endless problems you can't solve, but can't stop thinking about. Your hands are tight, your chest is closed, and beneath all of it, something heavier than exhaustion. The feeling that if you don't figure this out, if you don't do something, if you don't carry this, who will? This is where it lives. Not the ego you've been taught to recognize. Not the one that wants credit. Not the one that needs to be seen. This one is quieter. The self that cares. The self that worries. The compassionate one. The one lying awake at 2 a.m., feeling responsible for suffering that isn't even yours. And here's what makes it impossible to see. This feels like love. This worry feels like responsibility. This exhaustion feels like spiritual maturity. You've been told that expanding your circle of care is awakening, that empathy is evolution, that carrying the world's pain is what the conscious ones do. But right now, something's wrong. Not with the world, with the weight. Because no matter how much you care, no matter how deeply you feel, no matter what you do or say or try, the suffering continues. Yours, theirs, everyone's. And the exhaustion isn't from helping, it's from being the one who must. Ramana Maharshi asks a question most people never want to hear. Why do you worry about the future? You don't even know the present properly. Not advice, a pointing. You're lying there anxious about tomorrow, about next week, about their life, about outcomes you can't control. But right now, in this moment, do you actually know who's worrying? He says, take care of the present, and the future will take care of itself. But listen to what he's actually saying. The one worried about tomorrow is a movement happening now, a thought, a sensation in the chest, a tightness in the hands, a voice saying someone needs to figure this out. And that voice, it feels like you. Just notice that. The voice feels like you. But is it? There is a being that governs the world, and it is his task to take care of it. He who gave life to the world also knows how to take care of it. And then he says something that makes the ground disappear. He carries the burden of the world, not you. Your mind resists immediately. But if I don't worry about them, who will? If I stop caring, aren't I abandoning them? If I let go of this responsibility, doesn't that make me selfish? Feel that resistance. Where is it located? Your throat, your stomach, the tightness behind your eyes. That resistance, that's not love. That's the hidden self, revealing itself. The identity that needs someone to help. The self that maintains itself through others' problems. Because without them struggling, who are you? Without someone to save, what validates your worth? Without their need, what proves you're awake? Ramana asks, what is the use of understanding the world without understanding yourself? You're so focused on fixing them, helping them, saving them. But have you looked at the one who needs to help? Think about it. Someone is suffering. You see it. And immediately, before you even notice, a movement happens. I should do something. They need me. I have to fix this. And in that instant, separation. You here, capable, them there, broken. A relationship born not from seeing, but from identity. The helper who needs someone helpless. The savior who requires someone lost. The compassionate one who can only exist if someone else is suffering. Ramana says, those who seek truth need not concern themselves with this. People waste their energy on these unnecessary questions. He's not being harsh. He's pointing to something you've been avoiding. First, find out the truth behind yourself. Then you'll be in a better position to understand the truth behind the world of which you are a part. But investigating the helper means everything might collapse. Your purpose, your meaning, your entire spiritual story. If you're not the one who helps, who are you? Stay here. Don't move to answer. Just feel what arises when the question is real. Notice how the mind wants to fill this space, wants to become something, wants to find a better identity to replace the old one. Even now, even here, Ramana offers a teaching that sounds impossible. He says, from the perspective of reality, suffering is a dream, and then he makes it tangible. In the dream you have while sleeping, you feel hunger and see others suffering from hunger. You feed yourself, and moved by compassion, feed the others who are also hungry. While the dream lasted, all that suffering was as real as the suffering you see in the world. You've had these dreams where someone you love is in danger, where you're desperately trying to help, where everything feels urgent, real, impossible, and then you wake up. The person is fine. The danger never existed. The desperation was dream stuff. But, and this is what matters, this doesn't mean that while you're in the dream, you can act as if the suffering you feel isn't real. The hunger of the dream must be satisfied by the food of the dream. The dream hunger needs dream food. But if you think you're awake, feeding sleeping people, you're still asleep, just playing the role of the awakened helper in the dream. In the same way, until you reach the state of realization and thus wake up from this illusory, phenomenal world, you must relieve the suffering of others. Whenever you come into contact with it, the action continues, the helping happens, but something fundamental changes. Ramana says, but even so, you must act without ego, that is, without the feeling that I am the instrument of God. Wait, even that, even the thought I'm God's instrument is ego. You also shouldn't be vain and think, I am helping a man who is in a worse situation than me. He needs help and I can help him. I am superior and he is inferior. Two forms of the hidden self. The obvious one, I'm better than them. The subtle one, I'm the vessel through which help flows. Both maintain the separation. Both keep the identity alive. You must help him as a means of venerating the existence of God in him. All service rendered thus is service rendered to the real self and not to anyone in particular. And then he says something that breaks language. You're not helping anyone but yourself. Sit with that, not as a concept, as a felt sense. When you feed the hungry person in your dream, who are you feeding? When you wake up, was there ever anyone separate to feed? There are no others to be helped, for the realized self sees only the real self, just as the goldsmith sees only gold when evaluating various jewels made of gold. The goldsmith sees a ring, a necklace, a bracelet, but he doesn't see ringness or necklaceness, just gold, taking temporary forms. In the same way, no separate people needing separate help, only the self, appearing as apparent multiplicity, appearing as helper and helped, appearing as suffering and relief. The separate names and forms exist only while you identify with the body. However, when you transcend body consciousness, the others also disappear. And here's what this means for you: lying awake, carrying weight that was never yours. The exhaustion isn't from helping, it's from maintaining the helper. The burden isn't the world's problems, it's the identity that needs problems to exist. What if every act of compassion that drains you is compassion filtered through someone who needs to be compassionate? What if real help happens not through you trying to help, but through help happening, like breathing, like heartbeat, like rain falling? No one there claiming credit, no one exhausted by responsibility, no one lying awake wondering if they did enough. Ramana's final words land like silence. If you understand the real self, you'll see that it is everything, everywhere, and at all times. Nothing exists besides the real self. The realized self doesn't see the world as something different from itself. There is only the self. There is only Atman. Understand your true self, and then everything else is understood. The world continues. Suffering appears. Help happens. But there's no separate you carrying it. No helper maintaining identity through others' needs. No hidden self requiring problems to solve in order to exist. What if you've been carrying burdens that don't exist, worrying about a future that never arrives, trying to save people who were never separate from what you are? The hidden self isn't the one seeking pleasure. It's the one seeking purpose through others' pain. The one who needs someone to help. The one who maintains separation by calling it love. When you see this, not understand it, but see it the way you see your hands, help doesn't stop, but the helper disappears. And what remains carries no weight, because there was never anyone there to carry it. Just this, just now, just the self, taking care of the self in 10,000 forms. The world doesn't need your worry. It needs you awake to what you are. And in that waking, whatever help is needed simply flows, without the hidden self claiming to be the source. If this touches something real, stay with us. We walk these paths together, not to arrive somewhere, but to discover we were never separate from what we sought to help. Be still, not as someone being still, just the stillness that was here before the helper was born.